this is Angela from Natural Living Alchemy. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making something called an adrenal cocktail. Now, this is a beverage that is rumored to help support the body's stress response, fight adrenal fatigue, and help support overall adrenal gland health. It is a combination of vitamin C, sodium, and potassium. And there are many different recipes out there, and you can certainly customize this one as well. So be sure to stick around to the end, and I'm going to share some of my suggestions with you. Before we get into the information I want to share in this video, I just want to remind you that I'm not a doctor. None of what is on this channel is considered medical advice. It is here for education and entertainment purposes only. And it's up to you to talk to your healthcare professionals before following anything that I say. All right, so what are the adrenal glands? Well, they are small triangular shaped glands which sit on top of the kidneys. To me, they kind of just look like the kidneys' hats. Now, they do consist of two main parts: the adrenal cortex, which is the outer region, as well as being the largest part of the adrenal gland. And that is divided into three separate zones. And each zone is actually responsible for producing specific hormones. Our first zone is called zona glomerulosa. Please forgive me if I am mispronouncing these. Remember, not a doctor. So what this zone does is it produces mineral corticoids. One example would be aldosterone, and this regulates mineral balance as well as blood pressure. Our second zone is zona fasciculata, and this is glucocorticoids, and we would know this as cortisol. So this regulates glucose metabolism. And our final zone is zona reticularis, and this is where we find androgens. And these are specific precursors to testosterone and estrogen. And this produces steroid sex hormones as well as stimulates masculinization. Our second part is called the adrenal medulla. And this is the inner region and the center of the adrenal gland. And it produces stress hormones, epinephrine and norepinephrine, or adrenaline and noradrenaline. They're the same things, they're just called different things depending on where you live. Now, the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla are surrounded by an adipose capsule, which helps form a protective layer around the gland. So what are the adrenal glands responsible for? Well, their main function is regulating metabolism, the immune system, blood pressure, as well as the body's stress response. And it is also responsible for making vital hormones such as aldosterone, cortisol, adrenaline and noradrenaline, or epinephrine and norepinephrine. And these are vital hormones that are essential in regulating heart rate, electrolyte balance, as well as maintaining blood pressure. There is some contradictory information out there regarding the adrenals and if they can even get fatigued. Now, some say yes and some say no. I've heard it could be considered more of a nervous system exhaustion as opposed to an actual your adrenaline's being fatigued. But all I know is I feel a lot better when I drink this compared to when I don't. There is something called Addison's disease, which is an autoimmune disease of adrenal insufficiency, and it's considered to be a rare or long-term endocrine disorder. It's interesting that I've read information saying the adrenals can't be fatigued, but they can experience insufficiency. So figure out what that means, right? But anyways, Addison's disease occurs when there is inadequate production of cortisol and aldosterone. On the opposite end of that spectrum, we have something called Cushing's syndrome, and this can occur when the body has too much cortisol. Now, if you are experiencing any of those things, I would definitely talk to your healthcare professionals before adding this cocktail, as it actually might make things worse. Because when we get to a point where there is that much of an inadequate production or too much of a production of cortisol, the potassium and the sodium could wreak havoc on your system and actually make your symptoms worse. So what are some symptoms of adrenal fatigue? Well, I'm going to share a small list with you. Now, I'm going to invite you to check the description box below this video, and you're going to find a link to the full written blog article that does go into more detail about some of these different symptoms. But the main one would be chronic fatigue. You are tired no matter how much sleep you get. Could be anxiety, diarrhea or constipation, cravings for salty or sweet foods, difficulty waking up in the morning, joint pain, heart palpitations, mood swings, and dark under eye circles that really don't seem to be getting better no matter what you're doing. If you're somebody who is actively experiencing adrenal fatigue and you have ruled out that it's not Addison's disease or Cushing's syndrome, I do have a video coming up in the next month or so where I'm going to be making a tincture out of nettle seed, and that is one herb that is primarily used to help build the adrenals as well as just being a kidney tonic. So you might as well subscribe now so you don't miss that video. What are some benefits that you could gain from drinking this adrenal cocktail? Well, it may help balance your hormones, it may help increase your energy levels, and it may help reduce high levels of stress symptoms such as fatigue and insomnia. Who should avoid this cocktail? That is just as important as to who should be taking it. So the high levels of potassium in this beverage may be harmful to those on dialysis or if you have been diagnosed with kidney failure or chronic kidney disease. People with diabetes should be cautious due to the sugar content of the juice, and the salt content may also raise blood pressure. Let's now talk about some of our ingredients. So we are going to be using coconut water. Now this is a source of potassium, sodium, magnesium, as well as phosphorus. And it is important to get organic in any of these ingredients when you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. We're not going to let that stop us from making this beverage. I couldn't actually find organic pineapple juice just using regular. Everything will be fine. So you're going to need a juice, and this is going to be your vitamin C source. Vitamin C deficiency is the most prevalent deficiency we see in adrenal fatigue because vitamin C is a cofactor required to make cortisol. The adrenal glands contain the body's highest concentrations of vitamin C as well. It is also an immune booster and can help the body fight off infections and inflammations. It helps combat oxidative stress, which can trigger and or aggravate adrenal fatigue, as well as just helps in the formation of collagen, helping to keep the vascular system healthy, preventing heart disease. Next, you're going to need a sodium source. I have sea salt. You could use pink Himalayan salt, you could use Redmond salt, or any other clean salt that isn't table salt that you have available to you. So, every single cell in the human body requires sodium to function. And sea salt actually contains trace minerals that your body requires for electrolytes, as well as pink Himalayan salt does too. The hormone aldosterone controls our ability to hold on to sodium. And the stronger the adrenal gland, the stronger the levels of that particular hormone, the better the body's actually able to hold on to salt. And lastly, we need another potassium source, and that is coming from cream of tartar. Now, cream of tartar's common name is potassium bitartrate. Now, potassium acts as a counterpart to sodium, helping to maintain electrolyte levels. And electrolytes actually help balance fluid levels within the body. Now, potassium does another really interesting thing. It can actually help counteract the negative effects of sodium on the body. It helps transmit nerve signals that the muscles need in order to contract. And low levels of potassium in the body can actually raise your blood pressure, increase your risk of kidney stones, and pull calcium from your bones. Now, to make this adrenal cocktail, you're really just going to need 2 pieces of equipment. So you're going to need a 64-ounce or half-gallon mason jar with a nice tight fitting lid. Now, I do have plastic lids that I like to use on my mason jars, but they leak. So just make sure that you're using a lid that doesn't leak because we're going to be shaking this up. And then you're also going to just require a measuring spoon to measure out your salt and your cream of tartar. So we are going to start by adding 32 ounces of coconut water into our jar. If you just had a 1 liter bottle of coconut water, that's the right amount. Okay, next I like to add our other two ingredients before I fill the rest up with the juice. So you're going to need 1 teaspoon of your sea salt, and then you're going to need 1 teaspoon of your cream of tartar. And then finally, we are going to add 32 ounces of juice. I am using pineapple today. And then all you have to do is shake it up. Okay, so once everything is just nicely shaken up, you are going to store this in the refrigerator, and you're going to want to enjoy this when it is nice and cold. There is one final ingredient, however, I don't like to add it into the big jar. I just like to add it into the glass that I'm going to be drinking, and that is collagen. Now, my collagen comes in liquid form, maybe yours is powder. So whatever form yours is in, just be sure to follow the manufacturer's recommendation on serving size and just add that into your cocktail. So my serving is 2 teaspoons. So I just threw the 2 teaspoons in here, give it a nice stir, and then you are ready to enjoy it. So our dosage is just 1 to 2 cups, once or twice a day. I just find it is a nice thing to have in the morning alongside my morning tea. And sometimes if I'm just feeling that little dip of energy in the afternoon, I will just drink this after lunch, and it helps me sustain myself for the rest of the day. At the beginning of this video, I did mention that you could customize this to meet your needs. So some different recommendations or substitutions that I have is you can change out the pineapple juice for any other high source of vitamin C. So you could use orange juice, cranberry juice, mango, or guava are all delicious. You just want to make sure that you are getting juice that does not have any additional sugar added into it. You could switch out the coconut water for aloe vera juice. Now, you just want to make sure that you're using one that has no added sugar or additional flavors added into it. You could also go and add 2 ounces of either coconut cream or heavy whipping cream, depending on if you like to take dairy or not, into each glass. And that just gives it already tastes quite tropical to me. Just adding that extra bit of coconut cream just makes me feel like I'm sitting on a beach, which is not the worst thing when you live on the prairies and you are just waiting for spring to show up. So why don't you go ahead and comment down below and let me know, what remedy do you like to reach for when you're just feeling that deep level of fatigue and you just don't want to reach for that cup of coffee or energy drink? Don't forget to hit the like button if you've liked this video and share it with anyone else you feel might enjoy it. Consider subscribing to the channel so that we can spend more time together and that you don't miss future videos. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, so be sure to connect with me over there as well. But I just want to say thanks for stopping by today, and I'll see you next time.